Like I said in the full review, the Sennheiser PXC 552s are a very peculiar pair of ANC headphones that just don't live up to their full potential. But strangely enough, I still really enjoy these headphones. Now, they're definitely not perfect for everybody, but these could be a good alternative to the Sony 1000XM3s or Bose NC 700s, depending on your needs and on a very specific set of circumstances. So here's how the Sennheiser PXC 552s stacks up against the Sony 1000XM3s and the Bose NC 700s. So price-wise, both the PXC 552s and 1000XM3s retail for $350. But since the Sonys are a little over a year old now, sometimes they go on sale for $300 or even sometimes as low as $280. Whereas the Bose NC 700s came out in the summer of 2019 and retail for $400. If you want to pick any of these headphones up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to learn more about any of these headphones, please watch their full reviews because we're only going to be going over the main differences. So first off, I want to address the carrying cases here because like I said in the full review, I'm not all that impressed by the PXC 552's case. Since it's not a hard shell case like Sony's or Bose's, you might have to be more mindful of your headphones when you have them in your backpack or if you're traveling with them. Whereas both of Sony's and Bose's cases are hardshell cases that do a much better job of keeping your headphones safe, and they have much better storage compartments for your cables. Like I've said in the past, if you're paying upwards of $300 for any pair of headphones, a decent hardshell case is to be expected. Now, when it comes to the headphones themselves, the Sennheiser PXC 552s have the worst overall build quality here. To me, they feel pretty cheap because the leatherette on these ear cups and headband feels very synthetic, and the plastics used on these headphones feels cheap as well. Now, the Sony 1000XM3s are mostly made out of plastic as well, and their leatherette feels very synthetic too. But since the soft touch material on the outside of these ear cups feels smoother, and since the plastic on these headphones feels denser, I gotta say the Sonys have better build quality than the Sennheisers. But the Bose NC 700s have the best overall build quality here, mainly because their leatherette feels buttery smooth, which in turn feels great when pressed up against your head. But when it comes to overall comfort, I gotta say the Bose NC 700s are the least comfortable headphones in this lineup for me. If you have a smaller head, they'll fit you just fine, and their ear cups are very roomy, so they're going to be able to accommodate most ear types. But since these headphones have the most amount of clamping force here, to be on the safe side, I gotta say these headphones are not big head approved. Whereas the Sony 1000XM3s are big head approved because they have noticeably less clamping force than the Bose. But since the ear cups on the Sonys are a little cramped, they're not going to fit people who have larger ears or ears that stick out a lot. The Sennheiser PXC 552s, on the other hand, are the most comfortable headphones here. Just like the Sonys, they have very little clamping force, making them big head approved, and just like the Bose, they have very spacious ear cups, so they should be able to fit most ear types just fine. The PXC 552s give you the best of both worlds, but also another reason why the PXC 552s are so comfortable is because they're so lightweight, weighing in at 230 grams, which is super lightweight for headphones in this price range in general. Whereas the Sony 1000XM3s weigh in at 255 grams, and the Bose NC 700s weigh in at 263 grams. Both the Sonys and Bose are lightweight in their own right, but the Sennheisers just take it to a whole other level. And the PXC 552's lightweight just make them super easy to forget that you have them on. Now, when it comes to tech specs, one of my biggest critiques about the PXC 552s is that they're still charging via a micro USB port instead of a USB-C port like the Bose, Sony's, or like every other pair of premium ANC headphones out there these days. But when it comes to battery life, the PXC 552s perform very similarly to the Bose NC 700s, lasting me about a week in between charges. Not bad. But under the same usage conditions, the Sony 1000XM3s can last me about a week and a half to 2 weeks in between charges. Regarding Bluetooth connectivity, all three of these headphones have stable Bluetooth connections, and they're all perfectly fine for watching movies on your phone, like they should. But it's very important to keep in mind that only the Bose and Sennheisers allow you to be connected to two devices at the same time, so that you can easily hot swap between your phone and your computer. Whereas with the Sonys, they can only be connected to one device at a time, so hot swapping between your two main devices isn't as seamless. Ultimately, this isn't a huge deal, but it is one of those small things that you miss when you don't have it anymore. Now, when it comes to actually listening to music with these headphones, the Sonys are the crowd pleasers here. All three of these headphones sound good, but the Sonys are the only headphones here that are going to be able to please almost everyone. Since these headphones have a fully customizable EQ, you can make them sound however you want. If you like a neutral sound signature, you can do that, or if you like a bass-heavy sound signature, you can also do that. But if you're someone that likes to physically feel the bass in your music, then you're definitely going to want to go with the Sonys, cause both the Bose NC 700s and Sennheiser PXC 552s are neutral sounding headphones, meaning that they have bass that can be heard, but you don't actually feel it thumping against your head. Now, the Sennheisers have a somewhat adjustable EQ, but it's not as useful as Sony's EQ. And personally, I think these headphones sound best when they're set to their default neutral EQ setting. Whereas the Bose don't have an adjustable EQ setting, so you're stuck with a neutral sound signature. Which personally, I don't mind, but it all comes down to personal preference. Some people want to feel the bass in their music and others don't. But if you're someone that does want to feel the bass, then the Sonys are the way to go. Now, when it comes to controlling music playback, all three of these headphones have touchpads, and for the most part, all three of these touchpads are perfectly fine. But personally, I do prefer Sony's touchpad for the simple fact that you can press and hold to continuously raise or lower your volume, which is something you can't do with these other two headphones. And personally, Bose's touchpad is my least favorite here, just cause it's so small. But besides those minor nitpicks, all three of these headphones have decent touchpads. Now, when it comes to active noise cancellation, the Sony 1000XM3s still manage to block out the most amount of noise here. But the active noise cancellation on the PXC 552s manages to keep up and in some cases outperforms the active noise cancellation on the Bose NC 700. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test. Like you may have just seen, the Sony 1000XM3s still clearly managed to block out the most amount of road noise and chatter here. But when it comes to second place, it's a real fight between the Bose NC 700s and Sennheiser PXC 552s. The Bose clearly manages to block out more road noise, aka constant low frequency sounds, than the Sennheisers, but the Sennheisers manage to block out more chatter, aka higher frequency sounds, than the Bose. The PXC 552s managed to block out almost as much chatter as the Sony 1000XM3s, which is very odd because usually headphones have an easier time blocking out road noise than they do chatter. So I wonder if Sennheiser would be able to increase the amount of road noise the PXC 552s block out. Because if they can, then Sony better watch their back. But when it comes to an overall performance standpoint, all three of the active noise cancellation on these headphones have very minimal cabin pressure, which is important for comfort, and they all do a good job of rejecting wind noise. But if I had to nitpick, the Bose have the most amount of cabin pressure here, and the PXC 552s pick up the most amount of wind noise here when used outdoors. But again, I'm just nitpicking here. But something that's completely lacking on the PXC 552s that's unavailable on these other two headphones is an ambient mode, With both the Sonys or Bose, you can pump in some of the ambient sound around you so that you can still be aware of your surroundings when you're walking around the city and playing music, or so that you can still hear when people call your name when you're watching The Mandalorian at home. But as a consolation prize, the PXC 552s do have a hear-through feature, where if you double press on their touchpad, they'll mute your music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you, so that you can quickly talk to someone without having to take your headphones off, like this. But keep in mind, both the Bose and Sonys can also do this, so overall it's just a bummer that the PXC 552s don't have an ambient mode, because in my opinion, it's a necessity. But when it comes to the microphone on these headphones for phone calls, this has never been a strong suit for the Sony 1000XM3s. They just sound very muffled. Whereas the microphone on the Sennheisers just sound much better overall. Now yeah, they might peak a little bit, but they're definitely usable. But the Bose NC 700 still have the best sounding microphone, mainly because of clarity, and they don't peak as much as the Sennheiser PXC 552s. But overall, on paper, the new Sennheiser PXC 552s are not better than the Sony 1000XM3s or Bose NC 700s, and they frustratingly don't live up to their full potential. Personally, I still prefer and recommend the Sony 1000XM3s, and I would definitely jump on them if they're on sale. But the Sennheiser PXC 552s are a very good alternative to the Sony 1000XM3s or Bose NC 700s. If Sony's ear cups are too cramped for you, go with the Sennheisers, or if Bose's headband is too tight on you, go with the Sennheisers. Personally, I really enjoyed the PXC 552s because they're so comfortable and they have the makings of great ANC headphones. They look good, they sound good, and the active noise cancellation on these headphones is impressive. But I just wish Sennheiser brought their A game here with better build quality, a better carrying case, a full-on ambient mode, and USB-C charging. Had they done that, these headphones could have dethroned the Sony 1000XM3s. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.